How to change your spark plugs. You would think it'd be that simple, right? Most people think changing spark plugs is a 10-minute unscrew and replace job, but that's exactly how you end up with stripped spark plug threads or worse, and a $3,000 or more repair bill. Today I'm showing you the professional secrets to do this the right way so you never ruin an engine. Full disclosure, this video is a tutorial. It's not meant to be a short or something just to learn in 5 seconds. So be sure to watch this video in its entirety so that you learn how to properly change out your spark plugs. In this video, I'm going to go over the proper way to change spark plugs, because doing it wrong could cost you a motor. So if you're curious on how to change the spark plugs correctly, let's dive in. As you can see, these are so easy to get to. They're right here on top of the engine. So easy to pull out. I mean, you do have to be careful about unplugging the spark unhooking the spark plug wires from the hold downs, especially an older engine, they'll crack. But pulling them out, if they'll turn, so that would come out fairly easy. But it's got oil on it, so it's the valve cover gas that's leaking down in there. And these are the things we're going to be talking about on what can mess up your engine. A lot of engines have coil packs that says spark plug wires. They still do make a few plug wire engines, but most of them nowadays have coil packs that plug right down on top of the spark plug. And it's going to be the same principle. They all have these tubes on whatever connects to the spark plug. And if they're dry, like when I was trying to twist it, let's test this one. And that one comes out. And that one's dry. There's no oil on it. This one's got oil on it, so that means the valve cover, the seal up here on the valve cover itself is leaking against the spark plug tube. Let's see, this one is also dry. This one's going to be a little bit more of a challenge, so I'm going to leave it for last. This one here, what you're going to want to do is, even though these boots sit over top, dirt can still get down in these things. And what's going to happen is if you just stick a spark plug socket in there and unscrew that plug, whatever dirt's down inside that tube is going to drop down in the cylinder. If there's anything that's harmful, it can mess up the valve, it can put a hole in the piston, tear up the rings. So if you don't have a compressor and you got canned air, use canned air. And I have a compressor, so what you're going to want to do before you even start is this. You're going to blow any debris out. And what I'll do is I'll back the plug up a little bit, almost to where it's going to come out. I'll blow it out one more time, just in case any corrosion stuff off the spark plug threads, and blow it out one more time. Now before you put your spark plugs in, you want to check the gap. Most plugs already come pre-gapped, and if you open up a box that doesn't have a piece of cardboard on it like that to protect it, you might definitely want to check it, because inside the box they can bang and get bent. But also these plugs can be used in multiple different engines, so it depends on which one the most common gap is. So like the engine I'm going to be doing today is 43 thousandths. So I want to check it, and it stops about 43 thousandths. And I've already checked all of them. You can use this type of a gauge, and they make these types. Oh, this one doesn't have 43 on it, only has 44 and 45. But it's like a feeler gauge that goes in there. And if you do have to adjust it, the tool, this kind of type of tool comes with a spark plug bender, where you just, if I can get a hold of it, you can see it or not, but, and you just kind of, yeah, these are handy and quick, but they're not totally 100% accurate. The end of the ground strap, it stops on the little indicators, and it stopped on the 43. So the first order of business before you put your plugs in, inspect them, make sure they don't look broke, like none of the porcelain down in here in the spark plug, it looks cracked. If it all looks good, and you got your gap checked, then they're ready to go in. The wind's going to be horrible, it's going to be hard for you to hear me, but I'm going to go ahead, it doesn't hurt too, just go ahead and blow the entire area. And we're going to talk about spark plug sockets and the proper way to use those, because they can help and they can hinder you. Now when you're unscrewing your spark plug, if you feel like it's hanging up, it's tight while you're unscrewing it, that means it's got carbon buildup or rust or corrosion on the threads from the bottom coming through the threads. You may have to stop, spray some penetrating oil or something down there, let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes to get down to the threads, then screw it in and back it out. You may have to go up and down with it, in and out, until you get it to come loose. But this one's coming out smooth. Matter of fact, I can probably remove the ratchet. Now I'm going to leave that spark plug in the hole. What I'm going to do now, since I've unscrewed some, is blowing the top of the debris out. One right here that's all in oil. I got to thinking it may not be the gasket leaking. When I was putting oil in it, it sloshed and it went down. If you actually can see, it went down the tube there. So the way to get this cleaned up without having all that oil and dirt drop down inside the engine, I'm going to use a carburetor and blow it out. Try to sop it up and blow it out with air hose. I'm going to spray just a little bit more now. Clean all that mess up here in a minute. That is a mess. Unless it's the exact same number, which this is the platinum version of this one, it just means the tip is made different inside the electrode. But always compare your spark plugs to make sure they're the correct length. You don't want them to stick down in there further. And you can see I put just a light skim of anti-seize on it. It doesn't need to be heavy. Spark plug sockets are made in general, which means they're made for this, the rubber to catch on this porcelain here. Some of them are tight, some of them are loose. Now if you put one in and it's real tight and it's hard to get off, once you get it down in there, you're going to lose your socket down there. If you start fishing it or start over and unscrew it, start all over again. So what I recommend is if you can just grab hold of the rubber, you don't even have to get it on the threads. Just put it down there, just easily get it started. If it's real tight, you'll just want to get you a deep well that doesn't have the rubber in it. Tighten it up good. This one, I think, it will come out. If not, we'll find out here in a minute. Now it's come to a stop. And this over-torquing thing about the anti-seize is ridiculous. It's come to where it's now set on the base. You just turn it a quarter of a turn. And then it's tight. And always start them by hand. Do not try to use some sort of tool that's electric, or I don't even use the ratchet. I would start them by hand to ensure that they're not cross-threading, there's nothing wrong, and it should mostly go all the way down to the stop, where it stops in the gasket before you use the ratchet. Now come to the stop, turn it a quarter of a turn, and after you turn it to a quarter of a turn, kind of push on it. If it doesn't feel like I could probably make it go more, but there's no point in it. You're not trying to torque down a bolt that's going to hold the head on or hold some bracket on. You're just putting, all you're wanting to do is just crush gasket on the spark plug, and that's all you're wanting to do. If you turn it a quarter of a turn and it feels pretty snug, yeah, granted you can probably turn it more, but if it feels pretty snug, then it's tight enough. You don't have to over tighten it. Here's the question. Do I use anti-seize or not? I will put, here's the description of what NGK says. It says you do not use anti-seize because you can over torque the spark plug. I don't know what drug addict at NGK, I mean I love NGK spark plugs. I use them in everything, used them in motorcycles for years. They're the best spark plug, they make the best products. But whatever drug addict was that wrote that apparently doesn't know how to tighten down spark plugs. First off, that's probably based on a brand new engine, brand new clean head, never been run. Most of these plugs, these are platinum plugs. These plugs will run 60,000 miles. You can probably run up to 80,000 miles. Okay, 80,000 miles, 60, 80, 80,000 miles is going to build carbon around this part here. Their nickel plating that they put on there, that trivalent, whatever nickel plating they put on there that's supposed to act as an anti-seize, is great, except for they don't count in the fact that this is a steel plug going into an aluminum head. Now, not all engines have aluminum heads, but most of them today do. So you have two differences between metals. So you have hot, cold, hot, cold. That can gall or corrode the threads, mixed in with the carbon that's always being blown up into the threads, or trying to blow up into the threads, especially if your engine's running a little rich and it's got a real rich fuel mixture, or burning a little bit of oil, it can blow it up into the threads and create like a ring of just corrosion, basically. So when you go to unscrew the spark plug, that the corrosion will get into the threads and eat them out. The torque thing, that's where I'm thinking they're on drugs. On any spark plug that has a crush washer, if you look at the instructions in almost any book, and this is the way I've lived by doing spark plugs forever, for 50 years, you screw them in until they stop. When they stop, you turn it a quarter of a turn. I don't know how over torquing, I mean over torquing, yeah, it lubricates the threads, but I've always lubed my threads. I want my bolts to be able to slide easy, to be able to torque good. So I don't know what they're thinking. Now, to the point of anti-seize on how much you put on it. I mean, I've seen people just god this thing up where anti-seize is all over everything. You just put a little light bead, just a real light bead on the first few threads there, so that it gets down into threads a little bit. And that's all you do. So, whoever says do not use anti-seize because it's got the plating on the threads, don't listen to them. You can use anti-seize, just use a little bit. It's not going to hurt anything. It's redundant if you're going to base it on the nickel plating or what NGK says, but overall it's not going to hurt a thing. So if you're in question or wonder if your threads are dirty, put a little anti-seize on it. It's not going to hurt nothing. Another thing you should look for, even though this has got nothing to do with changing the spark plugs, but look at your spark plug and see how it's been wearing. This one, the electrode's a little bit like that, so it means the fire's been eating on it just a little bit early, but that's fine, that's normal, that's the way they're supposed to work. But the point of it is, if it's real black, oily, or real white, that means it's not running right. It's not getting the right amount of fuel, or it's got a mechanical problem letting oil into the cylinder. Or if it's got real heavy brown colors, it could be burning antifreeze. Although sometimes when it burns antifreeze, it burns it just bleach white. But look at your coloration. This one is normal coloration. This one's normal. That's a normal looking spark plug. Like I said, if it's got heavy black buildup down here and all over it, it could be getting too much fuel. It's not letting the exhaust out enough. If it's bleached white, it's running too lean. Or rather, if it's white looking, it's running too lean. If it's white with a little brown around it, it's running too lean. But if it's real bleached out, real white, it could be burning antifreeze. So just look at your coloration and see how your engine's running, because you may have other problems, and this is a telltale when you pull the spark plugs out. It also doesn't hurt to lay your spark plugs out how they came. In other words, you know, if you got like a 4-cylinder, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, lay them out the way they came out. That way you can inspect them, and if you do have one bad, then you kind of know what cylinder you might need to be monitoring or watching, or maybe do a compression test on. In this case, they're all good. They're all running the exact same, but it doesn't hurt to lay them out just to do an inspection. I'm going ahead and changing the spark plug wires on here, but that's what I was going to talk about. I use a dielectric grease. It's kind of hard to see. It's where I've squeezed the tubes, rub the writing off, but you put a little dielectric grease inside the boot. Might have to get a little bit off on everything there. Just make sure you get it in there where it's going to slide over the spark plug. That's going to keep it from sticking to the spark plug. Then I just take a little bit of a silicone spray, let it just pour around it. Now I just plug it onto the spark plug. And that's it. That's how you pretty much change out spark plugs properly. You pull the plug or coil pack off of the spark plug where you can see the spark plug tube, provided it has them. You may have an old Chevy 350 or something, and those may have tapered seats. It's best probably use a torque wrench if you're not familiar with doing spark plugs. Otherwise, because they don't exactly, they do kind of fall into the, when it stops, tighten it down a quarter of a turn, but tapered seats can really torque and lock. So you may want to be careful or tighten it and loosen it just to see how it tightens, but they don't tighten down the same as a crush washer. But anyhow, pull the coil pack or pull the spark plug wire, look down the tube, inspect it, blow it out, back your spark plug almost all the way out, blow it out again, pull the plug out, put a little anti-seize, not a lot, just a hair of anti-seize on it, screw it back down. When it comes to a stop, then turn it a quarter turn, and when you put your plug wire back on, or even your coil pack, it doesn't hurt to put a little dielectric grease on the boot part that sticks over top the portion of the plug. That way it doesn't get hot and stick to it, because I've seen that where you just can't get it off. But to pull a dielectric grease, and then spray a little silicone, especially if the tube of the coil pack or the spark plug wire seals against the inside of the tube to help protect it. And that's pretty much it. So if you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. And always check back, because I'm always working on something crazy. See you in the next one.